how are things going? How have you been, Niels? It's been a little while since we've connected. We keep good track of each other on a regular
Yeah,
basis.
yeah. No,
You know,
it's going really well despite the the pandemic, I have to say. And I was going to ask you the same thing, if how this pandemic has that been a challenge for you in your work?
not really. I mean,
Okay.
there was really only a period of a couple of months. Right around.
In the beginning, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
towards the beginning, and otherwise it's really gone quite well business wise.
Good. So, I wanted to, I'm curious if you could maybe just elaborate a little bit on how you started this Hudson Woods project. How did that come about?
Because it's actually it continues to be an ongoing question, right? Because
Hmm.
what we're now finding is that there are lots of people who both want to continue buying these houses and people who want to continue doing these developments. And what I mean by
Right.
that is we have investors coming to us asking us, do you have another project? Can we invest? We have people
Great.
with properties that they own. In fact, I was just on a call with one of them, large property in Pennsylvania in the Poconos. They have 4,500 acres, and they want us to help them develop 31 houses there, and that's just the beginning. They can build a lot more than that. So, this is a bit of evidence on the back end that confirms some of the things that I was thinking about on the front end going into Hudson Woods. And the reason why I came up with the idea of doing the project, did the project, is because I saw the need for it.
Yeah.
And, we'd have people consistently coming to us wanting a house outside the city. And then I'd hear from friends and colleagues,
Yeah.
about that desire. And then, what there was in relation to that desire, relative to what was out there available in the marketplace was a real disconnect, um,
Well,
mhm.
yeah. What's interesting, I think you mentioned to me, or maybe it's in your, some of the copy from Hudson Woods, was this feeling of being fairly close to New York, but also being in, I don't want to use necessarily the word compound, but having these cluster of homes in a sort of um, a separate area where you're still have a lot of acreage, but you're still sort of part of a community. I think that's an important thing for your customers, the people that have bought all those homes up there, correct?
No question. Yeah, we drew a 100-mile radius around New York City when we were looking for land, and that's about the extent of the distance that people are comfortable traveling from the city. And
Right.
now we're looking at this project in the Poconos and working on that, and it's within 100 miles of both Philadelphia and New York. And so it's going to draw from both of those places. But yeah, I mean, look, interestingly, and you can relate to this, being where you are in Connecticut. Where are you exactly in Connecticut? What town?
Well, we're actually in New York. We're in Pound Ridge, New York.
Oh, okay.
But my office is a stone throw from the New Canaan, Connecticut border. So we're basically right in the corner of Connecticut and New York. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Pound Ridge, New Canaan,
Yeah.
it's closer, right? You're what, an
Yeah.
hour and a quarter, something like that. It's, I'm sensing lately from a lot of people that that's actually the preferred distance, and of course, finding land and developing land at that distance is a lot more challenging.
A lot more. Yeah. There are
Yeah.
very few of those larger, parcels or, areas available, more and more. So you do have to go a little bit further, I think. But,
Mhm.
I think Gosh, this whole thing is changing the way we work and live, and I think people are, you know, uh, today more open to. It's not just a weekend home. I think for many people, and maybe the future will be different. Maybe they'll be spending a lot more time there, and so it's not. It's less of a trek. You know, they don't have to, you know, leave Friday and come back Sunday night type thing. But anyway, we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely been for me too. I mean, I know it's been a huge success for you, and I congratulate you on that. And I'm curious, just sort of a gut feeling on how you picked your various vendors, including the shaker stove. But you know, how did that all go about? Maybe you can talk just a little bit about that. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling you'll like the answer I'm going to give you. It's two factors. It's design and performance in one category. It's like, I would say, the first category, right? Because architects, designers are visual people, and we're looking at things first through a visual lens, and then if it meets the visual criteria around which we're searching for things, then we'll take the next step. And the next step for me, especially with the Hudson Woods project and other projects where we really go deep, and we go deep in the sense that we're building a lot, we're not just building one house, right? Building many houses or many buildings. And we're also weaving a story around what we're doing. The next factor that really is important, and is one of the reasons why we chose to work with you guys, is the people who are behind the product, and the people are important both because working on these building projects is a long, sort of complex process, and we want to make sure we're working with good people, and really makes a difference. Really makes a difference, and then it also makes a difference because it turns out, and this is really quite consistent, we found that the quality of the product and the quality of the person also ends up having some bearing on what the quality of the story is about these things, right? Because and this was true for you, like you're able to tell us, and then correspondingly the homeowners, the story of the shaker stove and everything that you do, and why it's special, and why it is that you've developed that stove, and right. So it's like, all of these things are the reason why we chose the shaker stove, chose to work with you, and chose all the other vendor partners that we work with. So
and I feel the same way. I mean, it's of course we didn't quite know each other closely before we started this project, but I always had a good feeling, and I would like to give credit to the real designer of the shaker stove, which is of course Antonio Citerio. And he just, I think he's also I met with him in Milano, and he's always been a fan of shaker furniture, the simplicity of the shaker furniture. And I was told by a friend of theirs, so Antonio is married to an American woman, and they apparently have a house upstate. And she had said, Antonio, we need a really nice stove. Can you design something? And I think he, I'm not an expert in shaker, but I've studied since all this. I've studied the shaker design and shaker stoves a great deal. And, he really captured a lot of their sort of very simple and functional designs in that stove. So many of the stoves, whether it be a stove designed for laundry that would, keep irons on the side and warm up as the laundry was being done, the angular sides of this stove really sort of captures that, I think, and many other small little nuances of that stove. And it's to us, it's it's almost like a piece of Hans Wegner furniture. It's timeless, and I certainly hope to be able to offer that for many, many more years.